1,000 books before kindergarten. Can you and your kids read that? I think you can. Let me give you guys 10 more recommendations. This is part 2 here of books for you to check out from the library. Let's just get right into it. First book here is The Very Hungry Caterpillar. This is a classic. It tells a little story here of a caterpillar who comes out of his little egg and he is starving. So he makes some not so great health choices and eventually gets quite large and turns into a butterfly. And this book has counting, it has colors in there, it has the life cycle of a caterpillar to a butterfly. It shows the importance of making good, healthy choices when you're eating and the consequences when you don't. It has it all. Recommendation number 2, The Napping House. This book is so much fun. It's a great bedtime book, but it talks about the napping house where everyone is sleeping. And in that house, there is a cat and a dog and a mouse and a boy and a granny and blah, 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 blah. And they're all asleep. And they're all piled on top of Granny throughout the course of the night. But as morning is coming, something happens. It wakes them all up, and it is so much fun. It is a really fun book. Next one here that I would recommend is The Leaf Thief. This book is all about Squirrel, who's a little confused because one day he wakes up and his leaves are gone and he doesn't know where they went. And he starts accusing people of stealing his leaves. And he learns that a little bit about autumn and fall, that the leaves will go away because of, spoiler alert, the wind. But it's very sweet. And this is actually part of a series. They have one for spring and one for winter that I have seen. And I would recommend those ones as well. And maybe there's more, but I will add that to the list. They're very sweet and adorable and lots of fun. This next recommendation will get your family absolutely howling, and it is The Book with No Pictures. As it says, there are no pictures, but the big plot here is you as the reader, the parent, have to read all of the words that are in the picture, in the book, no matter how absolutely outrageous and silly the words are or the noises are. And this will really make your kids just hoot. It is ridiculous. It is so much fun. It's interactive, and they will pick this book over and over and over. All right, the next one on my list is going to be The Seasons of Arnold's Apple Tree. This is such a lovely little book. It's a nonfiction story that kind of shows the life cycle of an apple tree, how it goes from seed to, like a little, what's it called, sapling into a tree, how it produces flowers and fruits, etc. It's a really fun way to introduce just how fruit grows and trees work. It's very good, very, very simple and fun to read. Next recommendation I have is called We're Different, We're the Same, and We're All Wonderful. This kind of highlights that everybody is different, everybody's unique, and everybody is fabulous. We all have different eyes and hair and skin color and abilities and languages and foods that we like and things that we can do. And our community is so much better because we're all different. And embracing that, loving that, and just being proud of being a part of a diverse, wonderful community is great. And it's a very simple message. It's a small little book, and it's very powerful. I very much so like the idea here. Now, it talks about the differences, but it also talks about the same. Our eyes might all be different colors, but eyes typically see. That's what they're there for. Our hair might all be different colors, but I don't know, hair protects our heads. There's, it kind of highlights the way that we are all the same as well. All right, this next book, you guys, is so much fun. It is called Not Your Typical Dragon. And it is about this little dragon here who doesn't breathe fire. He breathes marshmallows and ribbons and bubbles and everything that's not scary. And it is all about this little dragon who feels different and off and disappointed because he is different. And so he runs away and he meets a knight who is a skinny little knight who's quite afraid of dragons. And it's all about their friendship. And through that friendship, learning how great they both are and how beautiful it is to be different and to be ourselves. So I do really like that one. It's very cute. And yeah, my children love it. All right, next book here is going to be The Rabbit Listened. This tells the story of a little boy, Taylor, I think his name is, and he has built a beautiful block, I don't know, tower. Like it's just this big metropolis basically of blocks, and it topples over. And he's trying to cope with his emotions and how he feels in the disappointment with the tower tumbling down. And all these other animals approach him and try to tell him how to cope with how he's feeling. But at the end of the story here, Rabbit comes up and does the most important thing. And he just listens to the little boy and listens to how he was feeling and is just there. And it's a good reminder to our children that we don't have to always know how to react when we are in Taylor's shoes. But on the other side, it highlights the importance it is to just be there for people. Sometimes people don't need us to like tell them how to cope or tell them what's the right answer. Sometimes they just need a listening ear and a hug. And this really highlights that is kind of what he just needed, and that's great. All right, next book I have here is called The Scarecrow. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is such a pretty story. It tells the story of a little scarecrow here who's starting to feel a little lonely. And one day, a little baby crow is at the bottom of his feet. And he decides to get off his pole, scoop him up, and place him in his heart and raise this crow in his heart and be there for this crow. It is such a sweet story about friendship and family and love and doing things for others and being there for them. And I just really like it. It's a really pretty story, beautiful artwork too. I would highly recommend it. All right, last recommendation in today's video is going to be Usborne's Count to 100 book. This is a fun book because in it you're going to be counting to 100, and they bundle a bunch of different numbers together to make counting to 100 actually easy. So I think in the final page, the hundreds, they are breaking things up into groups of 10. So you could, have your kid count individually, but it's really fun to use to also practice skip counting pretty early on. And the art is very colorful, it's engaging, and it's a really good counting book. All right, in the description here, you guys, I put an Excel sheet. I'm gonna update it with these recommendations. Make sure you make a copy of it if you wanna see what I recommended on the previous video. Hit that like and that subscribe button, and more recommendations will be coming soon. Bye, everyone.